Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor presented by Prophetic Solutions team. I am Sanjay. In this video session guys, we will study about Wordpress Shortcodes API. We will cover the following topics, that is about shortcodes, how many types of shortcode, how can we define shortcodes, and we will see some basic examples of shortcode. And also lastly we will discuss about the do shortcode WordPress function. And the code that we will do for our WordPress Shortcodes API, we will upload all the codes to this GitHub repository. Okay, you can download that code from here. And also guys, if you are a beginner to this channel, then please don't forget to subscribe and keep watching our previous video sessions from Online Web Tutor. Now, the first question that comes in our mind, that is what is shortcodes in WordPress? Okay, so just go to slide, and now this is a question that we are going to discuss. What is a WordPress shortcode? In version 2.5, WordPress actually introduced the concept of shortcodes. Okay, actually WordPress introduces the concept of shortcodes from version 2.5. Okay, a shortcode is a special tag that you can enter into a post that gets replaced with a different content when actually viewing the post on the website. So basically guys, the concept of shortcodes is that a shortcode is a special tag, okay, that we can enter into a WordPress page or post which actually replaces the different content. Okay, so if we will see the example, it actually get clear all about the introduction thing. Okay, so what is the shortcode syntax? Basically we will declare the shortcode syntax in three different ways. First, with a small shortcode as you can see, and the shortcode with a parameter. Here as you can see that we have passed some of the parameters inside this shortcode syntax. And now finally we have created a tag. As you can see, this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag, and within this tag we have passed some of the text inside that. So these are the syntax of shortcodes WordPress. Okay, so how many types of shortcode that we are going to study in this video session? Basically three types, because the WordPress provides three types of shortcodes to use. First, simple. This is a simple shortcode with no parameters and with no closing tag. But now in the second, it provides the parameterized shortcodes, means the shortcode which basically have some of the parameters, like here as you can see that name and the ID, basically two of the attributes that we have defined for this shortcode. Okay, and the third, that is tag based shortcode. Tag means what? Here is the opening tag and here is the closing tag, and within this tag we have some statement. So these are the basic things guys that we have to know about the shortcodes, that is what is shortcode. We will clear all these definitions by going through the action. Okay, we will see all in the code section. And now this is the shortcode syntax, that these are the shortcodes that we are going to define. And now we are actually discussed about the types of shortcode. So next question is, how can we create a shortcode? The basic points that we have to remember in our mind or keep in our mind, that is, first of all we have to define a shortcode with callback function by using add shortcode function. After declaring shortcode, we have to actually bind with a callback function. So in the second point we need to define a callback function, and finally we have to use our shortcode. Okay, so basically guys, to understand all the things about the WordPress shortcodes, just go to editor, and this is, just go to folder, and this is the plugin that I have actually made called owt shortcode. We will do each and every section of WordPress shortcode API code inside this plugin. Basically this is a plugin folder, and now this contains only a single file, that is owt-shortcode.php. and don't worry about this folder, this is a NetBeans project, because I have imported this project into our NetBeans. So by default NetBeans make a folder called NB project. About this file I have written some sort of comment, as you can see that plugin name, that is owt shortcode. Description, this is a simple plugin for purpose of learning, and version 1.0.0, and the author is Online Web Tutor. So this is the simple plugin introduction that we have written inside file called owt-shortcode.php. Okay, so if you go to browser, and this is our administrator panel, actually we have installed this plugin. So just go to plugin section. Now here as you can see the owt-shortcode, the plugin that we have installed. Okay, now just we are going to activate this plugin. Just click on activate, and the plugin activated successfully. But now we have no more code inside this file. Okay, so let's start with some coding action with Shortcode API. So first of all, let's define some of the constant. Let's define, and let's say owt shortcode plugin dir path. Okay, this is the constant that actually I'm going to define, which contains the path up to this folder. Okay, owt folder. Okay, and also let me make a folder called views, okay, which basically contains a file which is responsible to render some contents. Okay, so let's say that owt shortcode panel.php. Okay, this is the file inside our views folder. Okay, so just back to editor. Now let's say that just separate with comma and let's say plugin dir path. This is the WordPress function, guys, which basically provides the path up to our plugin folder. Okay, to define a shortcode, guys, in WordPress we are going to use a function called add shortcode. Okay, basically this is a function which is responsible to create a shortcode in WordPress. Okay, it takes some of the parameters. First, the shortcode name. Okay, so let's say that owt. Okay, and the second, that is the callback function we need to pass. Okay, which is basically responsible to perform any functionality or any operation. So let's say that wpl owt shortcode part 1. Okay, this is the function name that we have passed. Anything you can actually give your function name. Okay, so let's define that function. This is the function name, this is the callback name actually we have passed right here. And now let's say that return inside this function, let's return this is a simple plugin shortcode that we have created. Okay, so this is the simple statement, guys, that we have passed inside this callback function. Okay, so now here we have a question that how can we use this shortcode. We have successfully defined our shortcode by using add shortcode function. This is a WordPress function, this is our shortcode name, and this is the callback function. This callback function contains a basic simple statements. Okay, so how can we use our WordPress shortcode? So just copy that. I am copying the owt. This is the name of the shortcode. Just go to administrator panel, click on the pages section. Now I'm going to create a dummy page. Let's say that wp shortcode. Okay, inside this description box I'm going to paste the shortcode something within this is square bracket. Within this square bracket just I have pasted with that. If I copy, go to slides and let's paste it here. This is something like that, owt inside this square bracket. Okay, so back to wp admin and now let's click on publish. So successfully we have created our page. Just click on this permalink and now just go to front end section. We can see that this is a simple plugin shortcode that we have created. This is the statement, guys, that we have written inside our callback function. Okay, so this is the statement actually replaced by this thing, and this is the shortcode name actually we have passed inside this page. Okay, so if you go to the definition section again, so now the definition says that a shortcode is a special tag. The shortcode is a special tag, meaning it is a tag which is basically replaced, that you can enter into a post that gets replaced with a different content. Okay, obviously we have seen that we have placed this tag inside our WordPress page and successfully it has been replaced by the different content that we have passed inside this callback function. So now the definition almost clear now. Okay, so let's get started about something different into this shortcode API. Let's define another function. Let's say function wpl owt shortcode part 2. Okay, this is the callback function we have defined, and now what we have to do, we have to bind this function with add shortcode function. So just copy that. Now I'm going to define another shortcode. Let's say owt file. Okay, basically this is the second shortcode that we have defined inside this plugin, and now we have to pass this callback function to this shortcode name. Okay, so inside this function what we are going to do, we are going to attach the views file that we have made, and this is the file, guys. Inside this views folder we are going to attach inside this callback function. Okay, so how can we attach this file owt shortcode panel.php inside this callback function? So by using include, let's say include once. Okay, so by using this function, guys, we are going to attach our views file inside this callback function. So just copy the defined parameter. This is the constant that we have defined earlier, so just copy that. paste it here. So basically this constant gives you the path up to your owt shortcode plugin folder. Okay, basically the constant that we have defined, it will give the path up to this plugin folder. And now by getting the path up to plugin folder, we have to go inside this views folder. Okay, so let's say that views, inside this views folder, this is the file. Okay, so let's say owt shortcode panel.php. Okay, so this is the file that we have made inside this views folder. So just copy that, and let's say that inside this file, let's define some of the statements within h4 tag. Okay, so this is the very basic statement, guys, that I have written inside this file. And now I am going to bind this file inside this callback function. And remember, this is a callback function which basically attached with this shortcode, something called owt file. So just make copy of this shortcode name, go to administrator panel, and let's replace, or let's bind another shortcode within this page. Okay, so just click on the update button. And now successfully we have updated the page. This page contains the two shortcodes that we have made. This is the simple shortcode which has a different callback function, and this is another shortcode which has a different callback function. Basically the callback function which contains this shortcode have the simple definition right here, and the second shortcode that we have defined which contains a file, which basically right here. Okay, so just save this page, go to front end and reload this page. And now as we can see that this is the statement that we have written inside the callback function of file, and this is the statement coming from the return statement. So these are the statements, guys, these are the shortcodes which basically categorized under this simple shortcode. Okay, within this simple shortcode. Now let's just discuss about the parameterized shortcode. Okay, where actually we will pass some of the parameters inside our WordPress shortcode tag. Okay, so just back to editor, and let's go to main plugin file, and let's say that add shortcode, and let's say the owt playlist. Okay, this is the shortcode name. And now in the second parameter I'm going to pass the callback function. So just copy this function name, paste here, and let's replace with part 3. Okay, this is another function we are going to define. So let's say that function, this is the callback function, and now inside this function we are going to define this shortcode. So inside this callback function, let's say that return hello, I am a parameterized shortcode. Okay, so if we save this file, copy this shortcode name, just go to browser, and within this page let's append that shortcode too. Okay, just close with this square bracket, save this page, and reload the front end section. So here is the statement, guys, that we can see that actually appended with this text. Okay, hello, I am parameterized shortcodes. So now let's pass some of the parameters inside this shortcode name. Okay, so let's say that playlist name underscore name. Okay, so inside that let's say that WordPress plugin development. Okay, this is the parameter that we have attached with this shortcode name, and let's say that total videos equal to something called 41. Okay, so just copying the shortcode thing, go to slides, and let's say that this is the syntax that we have followed. Okay, this is the shortcode name, basically contains two of the parameters, first playlist name and the total videos. Okay, so how can we retrieve these parameters from this shortcode tag? Okay, so basically to do that, just back to editor, and let's say that actually this shortcode has some of the parameters we have to retrieve within this callback function. Okay, so we have to define a parameter inside this callback function, something called attributes. Okay, this attribute variable contains all the parameters actually we have passed by this shortcode name. Okay, so let's say that print r, and let's say attributes, just comment this return statement, go to browser and reload this page. A statement has not actually appeared, so I think that we have not saved this file. So just click on update. And now after updating this file, remember that we have passed some of the parameters with this shortcode name. So just back to front end page, reload this page, and now as we can see that inside this array we have two of the keys called playlist name and the total videos. Okay, so all the attributes, guys, actually if we pass inside this shortcode name, it actually comes within this array. Okay, so if we want to retrieve this parameter, so just go to editor and let's say that echo playlist name, let's say that attributes, and this contains a array just with the key of playlist name, paste inside this square brackets, and also let's say echo with br tag, let's say that total videos. Okay, so it also within this attributes and the key actually total videos. Okay, so just paste it here. And now if we comment this print our statement, let's make a br tag again here. Okay, so if we save this file, go to browser, reload this page, and now as we can see that the playlist name equal to our WordPress plugin development and the total videos here, something like that. Okay, 41. This is a statement actually coming from the another shortcode. So basically, guys, the main concern is that many number of parameters we can pass inside our WordPress shortcode. Let's append some of the another parameters with this shortcode. So just go to page and let's say that author equal to Sanjay. Okay, and let's say channel equal to online web tutor. Okay, so if we update this file, go to front end section, reload this page, and now just I think we have commented out the printer statement, so let's uncomment that, save this file again, reload this page. And now as we can see that inside this array we have all the keys appeared which we have passed as the parameter inside this shortcode. Okay, so basically, guys, this is known as parameterized shortcode. So what will happen when we define this shortcode again? Okay, so just copy that and let's define within this another tag we have defined with these all parameters. Okay, here we have no called the playlist name. Okay, we have no the total video section, we have only the author and the channel name. Okay, and also just back to editor, let's define all those keys actually we have passed right here. So just make author equal to attributes, and the attribute contains for the author something author as a key. Okay, so just paste it here, and the another section is something called channel. Okay, so let's say channel, and here is the key called channel. Okay, so if we save this file, and remember, guys, this is the same shortcode we have called right here. Okay, which basically call the same callback function. Okay, but this contains only the two parameters we have passed inside this shortcode, but here we have passed 4 parameters. Okay, so if we update this file, just go to browser, reload this page, let's comment out our printer statement, just make comment, save this page, reload this page again, and now we can see that for the first parameter, for the first shortcode that we have defined with all 4 parameters has all the values as we can see, the playlist name, total videos, author as well as channel name. But now in the second case we have only 2 parameters we have passed. Okay, so now only 2 parameters with the second shortcode output. Here is no playlist name, no total videos, only author and the channel name. So is it possible to pass the default values for all those parameters? If the parameter has value, then we can define, otherwise it will pick the default value. Okay, so obviously we have an option called in shortcode to define our default parameters by the help of a function, and this is the WordPress function called shortcode_atts. So just back to editor, and now we are going to define the default parameters. If the shortcode contains the parameter, then it will pick those values, otherwise the default value will be used. Okay, so how can we define that? So basically we are going to define, so just copy this short attributes, paste it here, And now let's say that a WordPress function called shortcode ATTS. Okay, this is a WordPress function, guys, which basically used to define our default values of all the parameters actually we are going to pass by this shortcode. Okay, this will provide all the default values. So basically make an array. Inside that array, just pass all the keys with their default values. Okay, so this is the key playlist name. Pass, let's say, no playlist. Okay, defined. Okay, this is the default value for playlist name as a key. Just make copy total videos, and let's say that no videos found. Okay, in the next parameter, let's say author. Let's say that no author assigned, no author created. And for the channel, just make copy of this key. Go inside this array and let's say that no channel found. Okay, so these are the default parameters, these are the default values we have assigned with these keys. Okay, so now just separate with comma. In the second parameter of this shortcode ATTS function, we have to actually pass these attributes because we have to assign all these default values to this array. Okay, so just pass that. Also, we have a third parameter with shortcode ATTS, but actually it is optional. So what is the third parameter? Third parameter we can pass the shortcode name. Okay, so just make copy and paste, but it is optional parameter for this function. Okay, no need to pass on any condition. Okay, so if we save this file, so just save this file, go to browser and just reload this page. So as we can see that here we have no parameters of this playlist name, and now we got the default value, that is no playlist defined, no videos found. Okay, and now inside this owt playlist we have two parameters defined, so we are getting the values of that. Okay, suppose for the first parameter, for the first defined shortcode, if we remove the author name, so just remove that. If we update, just click on update button. And now if we reload our front end page, so as you can see that author, no author created, because for the first shortcode definition we have removed the author name. Okay, so it actually picked our default author name. Okay, so this is all about, guys, about parameterized shortcode. Okay, so if you go to the slides, this is something like that what we have seen. Okay, this is called the parameterized shortcode. Okay, so now let's move towards the tag based shortcode. Okay, so just back to editor and let's define some of the shortcode again. Let's say add shortcode. Let's say owt-tag. We need to bind a callback function, so let's wpl owt shortcode and let's say part 4. Okay, this is the callback function, so just make copy of that and define this callback function with the function name. So if we pass two parameters inside this callback function, first parameter called attributes and the second parameter is something called content. Okay, basically let's define a default value for this content variable with this blank value. Okay, so basically this is the second parameter, guys. Actually it retrieves the default values or the text value we are going to write inside this tag. Okay, the second parameter is responsible to pick all these contents within this tag. Okay, it will give those elements, those texts. So if we make comment of all these parameters, all these shortcodes what we have seen so far, so just make comment of that, just make comment again, go to page, just remove all these shortcodes. Okay, because all we have seen in action. Okay, so now just go to down, let's define some of the functionality of this callback function. Okay, so let's say return tag text dot, let's say content. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are just going to, let's uncomment that because this is the shortcode. Okay, owt-tag, so just make copy. After calling this shortcode, it basically calls this callback function. When any statement, actually any text pass inside this owt tag, it will get inside this content variable. And now, so just go to editor. Let's pass owt-tag. Within this closed owt-tag, let's pass that this is simple statement that we have seen. Okay, so if we copy this tag, go to slides, and let's write here. Okay, so basically what we did, this is the tag, this is the shortcode tag that we have made. Okay, and this is the statement that we have passed inside this tag. Okay, so just go to editor. Let's remove I. If we update this file, go to front end section, reload this page, and now as we can see that tag text, and this is the statement. This is a simple statement that we have seen. This is the text we have passed inside this shortcode tag. And also, if we want to pass any of the attributes inside this tag, also we can pass. So let's say that name equal to Sanjay. Okay, let's say channel equal to online web tutor. So if we update this file, go to browser, reload this page, now we have no parameters. Why? Because we have no printed that. So if we copy this attribute section, let's say that print r, and just save this file, go to browser, reload this page. These are the parameters. These are the parameters that we have passed inside this tag. Okay, and also we have some statements. So all the things we have seen in action. So let's make a simple task by using this same concept. What we are going to do, we are going to make a dynamic anchor tag with dynamic href, title, and the tag section. Okay, so just go to administrator panel, remove all these things. Let's say that owt-tag, and inside let's parse URL. Let's say http www.google.com, and let's say title Google link, and also just close this owt-tag. Create Google link. Okay, so what we did, we have created owt-tag. Inside this owt-tag, we have passed two of the parameters, which contains a URL, and also the second parameter is called the title section. Okay, and this is the tag in text inside this tag. Okay, so if we update this, just go to editor. Now we have to retrieve all those parameters. So let's comment those statements. Return, let's say anchor tag. Okay, we are going to make a dynamic anchor tag. Within this anchor tag, let's say href. Within this href attribute, we are going to retrieve the value of this URL. Okay, so let's say that, and as we know that these all parameters we can retrieve by this attribute section. So just make copy of that. Let's say that esc_attr. This is the escape function, which is basically used to remove the malicious content from the attribute section. Okay, so let's pass that attributes, and attributes contain the value called the URL. Okay, so let's pass the URL. So just copy all these things, and also we have to define a title attribute here. So let's say title. Inside this title section, we are again paste all these contents. Okay, it contains the parameter something called title. Okay, so let's say that title, and for the text inside anchor tag, this is the text actually we are getting inside this content. Okay, so if you go to administrator panel, this is the text actually we are going to retrieve. Okay, so just make copy this content and paste inside that. Okay, so let's say that content. So if we save this file, what we did, we have created an anchor tag which basically contains a URL, a title attribute, and the text inside that. Okay, so if we save this file, go to front end section, reload this page, and now we have a dynamic anchor tag. And if we inspect that, it contains the URL of the Google, which actually we have passed inside this parameter. Okay, if we update this URL, something called Facebook, if we update that, reload this page, and in a dynamic way the URL has been updated. So this is, guys, all about our tag based shortcodes, what we have seen right here. This is all about our OWT shortcode Okay, so now in the last we have to discuss about the do shortcode function. What basically this function do? As we have seen so far guys, that we have defined all the shortcodes inside our WordPress page by passing square brackets, and this is the shortcode name. Okay, so now we are going to define this shortcode. So how can we retrieve the definition of this shortcodes inside our PHP file? Means we need to write this shortcode into our PHP file. So if we go to our PHP file, this is the file that we have made, and let's say that within this PHP tag, how can we define this shortcode? Okay, how can we define this shortcode? How can we retrieve this shortcode definition? Because successfully we have displayed all the contents from its callback function to a WordPress page. We have passed the shortcode tag here, and now we have retrieved all these contents of this tag right here inside this page. But how can we retrieve the contents of this tag inside our PHP file? So for this we have a function, WordPress function called do shortcode. Okay, so if we copy all these things, just make copy of all that, go to editor, and first of all let's uncomment the file section actually we have made, and this is the file. Okay, so uncomment that because it including the file. Okay, and this file contains the shortcode. So now we are going to execute this shortcode in our PHP file. Okay, so let's say that echo do shortcode, let's say do shortcode, and inside this do shortcode function guys, we have to pass this tag. Okay, this shortcode. So just get rid of that, and let's go to page, copy this thing and paste inside do shortcode. Okay, we are going to execute this shortcode by using do shortcode function, and basically this shortcode function guys executes your shortcode inside your PHP file. Okay, so if we save this file, go to plugin main file, copy those OWT file, go to editor, and let's remove all these things and let's pass OWT file. Basically this shortcode calls this callback function. This callback function contains a file which is basically a PHP file, and this basic PHP file contains a shortcode, and this shortcode we are going to execute by the help of do shortcode function. Okay, so if we update this, let's update that and reload this page. Once we reload that, as we can see that, hello guys, welcome to online Web Tutor channel, and here is the link. Okay, this is the link that we have created by the help of do shortcode function. So in simple way we can understand that do shortcode is a WordPress function which basically executes the WordPress shortcodes inside our PHP file. Okay, so guys, I think that by the help of this video session, we understood about all these points about shortcodes, types of shortcodes, how can we define shortcodes. Also we have seen examples, and finally we understood about the do shortcode function. Okay, so all the code actually we did guys in this video session, I will upload all these codes inside this GitHub repository. Okay, you can download all those codes from there. So in this video session guys, if you have any query, then please drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day.